Hello and welcome to another episode on Maroš Bonsai channel. Today I'm sitting here in my workshop. It's cold outside and I have here Prunus spinosa, one of my very first Yamadori bonsai trees which I collected in 2009, and I'm going to do some autumn maintenance, and then while doing that, I will tell you something about Prunus spinosa, something about this tree. So I'm going to look around this. This is tree collected from the wild, as I said, in 2009. And it's sitting in this pot several years. It was repotted most probably 2 years ago. Last year I wasn't able to repot it, didn't have a time. It had very strange nebari from the beginning. The tree had 3 very thick roots growing, I think, from this direction. This is one of them, this is second, and most probably here in the middle was third one, which was removed in 2 years ago during repotting. So I'm keep changing nebari, very thick roots for thinner ones, but it's not so easy and takes time if you want to avoid risking that tree will die. So it's better to be very careful with stuff like that. Some people are not doing that at all and keeping sometimes very strange parts of the nebari as it is, and especially on small tree like this, keep really thick, let's say 2-3 centimeters thick root. There will look really awkward. In case I want to push this tree to maximum to look as good as it gets, I have to do this nebari work. So most probably in next couple of months, in the spring 2026, I'm going to take the tree out from the pot, do really proper repotting, remove maybe some another really big chunks of the nebari from there, and check how much of new finer roots were grown there and which appeared under the soil where I don't see it right now. Tree is already very dense. So it's lovely tree, and it makes me really happy. It makes some flowers, not a lot. I think more flowers on this smaller tree than this. Obviously it's 2 trunks. One trunk is here, second trunk is here. Both trunk has massive deadwood, which wasn't there originally. You can see a few pictures from 2009 when I collected it. The trunks were normal without any dry parts. This is what is happening to many cherries, if it's spinosa or Prunus mahaleb or ume. If you mess with the top and with the bottom, with the roots, usually some parts of the trunks are dying. So you have to be aware that it's going to happen. You have to incorporate it into your future design plan. The problem with this deadwood was that it was dying so much, and this bottom part, which is touching the soil, was decaying. The dry wood from the bottom was dying and decaying very fast, and the tree starts to have really ugly invase taper. So what I did this year, that I was trying to remove some chunks of a deadwood from this part, from here at this tree, and a little bit at this tree, so there is not big visual discrepancy between this thickness and both of those trunks. It's not ideal, but for example, if you look on it from that side, now it looks quite good. Also, it looks good from this side. It's not that bad at all. Maybe on a second camera it's a little bit closer. So it starts to look reasonably good. Of course, the amount of deadwood is massive compared to tiny trunks which are here. The amount of dead part is really dominating the design. What I have to do is that I have to preserve this wood, because obviously it's deciduous tree and it's cherry. The wood is not so resistant to fungal issues and decay. So this year I was impregnating all these parts with wood hardener. I had old product which I bought many years ago from Walter Pal, so it was sitting on my shelf, long time expired, but probably it still worked. So I carved it, scratched it a little bit with a brush to remove some kind of drier parts and fiber, and then I was impregnating it to keep it as long as it is. So I'm going to take small scissors, shorten some of those branches. Typical two-trunk issue is that usually, what I said many times in many videos before, is usually the second tree looks better than the main tree, and I think it's a little bit valid also for this tree. This smaller second tree looks, I think, a little bit better. This is very ugly part which I left here, and this happened. It's bulging part because I have this branch here, second here, another here, and all this apex part here, and also something was growing here and I removed it. This is remaining wound which is here, so it's unsightly already. And this branch created this kind of long part, let's say very straight sections of these branches which are not ideal, and they are not in harmony with the rest of a tree. Most probably I was thinking already about removing this completely here. It wouldn't hurt the tree, I think. In a long term, all these smaller branches will grow here and will fill the space. And I think I will not need it. I'm not going to remove it now. I have to look at it carefully without camera because I need to focus on it. But I have a feeling it's not necessary anymore there, and it will not hurt the tree, and most probably it will open the middle part. Of course, it will take some time until, let's say, this young branch will grow and this part from this branch will grow, and they are somehow going to fill this space, but it will be, I think, ultimately better, and I get rid also of this junction here because I will be able to carve it more to make it much thinner, of course properly seal it, and then hope everything will be okay. So this is very challenging part. On a small tree, even small branch like this in apex area is creating this kind of design challenge. So I'm going to deal with that. I wanted to tell you why tree is growing like this. Originally, when I collected the tree in 2009, after very short time, I gave it to my friend Vincent. artist and stonemason, very talented person. I'm not sure if stonemason is really correct term. He was making the tombstones, cemetery stones. He was very skilled, and I gave it to him because my garden was really filling up very quickly around 2011. So I gave it to him as a gift. And then, unfortunately, after a few years, the Vincent died, and I bought this tree from inheritance, and it returned to my garden. And when it was in his care, he developed this as a main trunk on this tree, and there was a straight part which was growing up, and this branch and this, and they were growing horizontally. He most probably struggled how to build the crown, and he made, let's say, typical classical upward going one trunk and all branches exiting horizontally. You can see this is the remaining part of this horizontally growing branch. I chopped it here. One of the branches is here, and I pulled it up and wired here, so it's this kind of one part of apex area, and the second one is this one, and I pulled this from straight position to this. You can see it's angled a little bit, and this one was pulled completely up and regrown. So it's not ideal, but after several years of work and developing it, it started to look credible, and I think it looks kind of okay. It's and you know, complement. The big tree is bigger problem, but this small tree is really start to look like decent supplementary tree in this kind of double trunk. So this is the history of a tree, and it returned to my garden, and then and since then I'm working on it again, and it's making me very, very happy because it's flowering and it's fruiting, and I'm always thinking about Vincent, how the tree was growing in his garden. So, but I think this is a part of our hobby when we have to, let's say, think at least a little bit about what will happen when we are not able anymore to care for our trees, and who will inherit them, and who will, let's say, take responsibility. And on a trees which are long-lived, this is Prunus spinosa, usually they don't live most probably so long, so you have to enjoy this kind of tree as far as it's with you, and I'm telling it all the time. So don't plan that it will be here for, I don't know, 50 years or 100 years, but enjoy every day and every spring when it's having flowers, and it's and you are enjoying to work on it. But there are trees which are really, you know, living for very, very long periods of time, for hundreds of years, centuries. So this kind of trees, you better have to start planning what you will do, and who will take care of those trees. So I think it's normal, and we see it in Japan when you have trees which were developed for very, very long periods of time, in multiple gardens with multiple artists who were working and developing them. So I'm going to shorten this one here, then maybe I'm going to wire it somewhere here. I never exhibited this tree, so I never had defined front for it as usual. I like it from this side. Of course, it's better and worse. This is most probably not that good. This is also not that bad, you know, all these trees going there. Maybe something like this. Maybe this branch can go a little bit like here. It could look on a picture a little bit messy, but in a 3D it's quite okay, except this apex part. So maybe I can even remove that right now. I'm not going to cut it away, but I'm just curious what you will say. Will removing this apex part make a tree better or not? Let me know in the comment sections, write me. In case it's your tree, would you remove that part or would you keep it? Right here, at this spot. And we will see what will be consensus. This branch will be wired, so in early spring I wire it here, so it's not springing back there, but the rest is going in really nice directions. These branches are going here. Okay, maybe this is getting too long and trying to escape and reach for a light here. So also the tree will be okay without this, but I like this kind of strange branches. Also this one is here, you know, going down and trying to search for a light somewhere here, and rest of a tree, this tree going, you know, in this kind of fashion up and has this sudden changes of movement, like this branch, it's going up, straight up. It's typical growth pattern. Also this one, down, up. Many trees are growing in this kind of pattern, especially some of the cherries, some of the, let's say, pears are exactly like this, are growing. So yeah, it looks cool. So I'm going to look how this Deadwood is looking. This part was carved this year and impregnated, and I clearly can feel it under the brush that this wood is not so soft anymore and is able to withstand the forces of nature for a few more years. So I'm going to film the detail of this so you can see the Deadwood in the detail afterwards. So this is all from today, very short Prunus spinosa session. It's going back to winter storage. Hopefully it survives winter well, and in the spring with a bunch of new flowers it will make impression in the spring garden, and then shortly before that I hopefully manage to repot it properly and do some important root work. Also most probably I will plant it a little bit deeper, maybe 1-2 centimeters will be enough to to and remove some of the old bottom roots. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.